Hey guys, what is going on? It's Jack here from Nothing But Tech. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're talking iPhone 8 Plus. So I've had this device for a hot sec now, so I want to create a first impressions video on it, keeping in mind that I'm going to have a full review and camera comparisons coming. So if you're into that kind of stuff, you're going to want to subscribe. But in this video, I just want to tell you guys what I love about the device and what I'm not so hot on. Alright, so let's get right into it. The phone is now made of 2 panes of glass with metal in between, and it feels good. The 8 feels heavier than the 7, but in a nice way. The glass in the back is more grippable than the aluminum of last year, but it does show a fair amount of fingerprints. It also is space gray, meaning that in some lighting conditions it looks kind of black, and then in other cases it looks straight up gray. So I really love the glass back on this phone as it enables wireless charging, but you should expect with the glass back that it will show some fingerprints, it will show some scratches, and there's also the possibility that if you drop this phone, the glass back will shatter. So the wireless charging is definitely a nice feature to have, and this phone works great with the Samsung wireless charging pad, but other than that, there's no other major design changes. This is still a very big phone, and the bezels up front are still pretty big. It's a 5.5-inch screen, and it's still 1080p, but it now has a True Tone display, which is really nice to have. Basically, that means that the colors on the screen adapt to the environment around it to look best wherever you are. These changes are subtle, but they really do add to the immersive screen. The colors are also really accurate, and the text is pretty sharp. It's no Note 8 by any stretch of the imagination, but it's definitely the best display that Apple offers right now. In terms of the software, the iPhone 8 runs iOS 11, which doesn't offer a lot of major function changes, but it does offer a lot of aesthetic changes. The control center is now all on one page, and the 3D touch function makes it easy to get the settings to exactly what you want. The screen on animation is now a little bit different, and the camera controls are also a little bit different to accommodate the portrait lighting mode. But let's talk about that camera. So the iPhone 8 Plus rocks 2 cameras, a telephoto lens and a wider lens, and these cameras again work together to create this portrait lighting effect. So that basically means the background's going to be really blurry and the subject's going to be in focus, and this phone nails it. I made a full camera test with Sarah DG, rhymes with Peachy, so you should go check that out if you want to see a lot of samples, but we were really impressed with the portrait mode on this phone. So this phone takes it one step further from last year, which just had the regular portrait mode, and now offers many different lighting features to go alongside that portrait mode. So you have natural lighting, which is basically the same thing as last year. You have studio lighting, which tries to brighten up your face and darken the background. Then you have contour lighting, which adds shadows to your face. And then you have stage light and stage light mono, and that basically makes a comically black background to complement the subject. It just looks really terrible. I hope no one actually uses that. But stage light and contour light were actually really awesome, and I think that they really add to the portrait mode. And a lot of the photos that we took with the portrait mode looked really good, so I'm really impressed. I'm obviously going to be comparing it to other smartphones that have this depth effect, but the iPhone 8 definitely, I think, in my opinion, as of now, has the best portrait effect on the market. The iPhone 8 also packs 4K video at 30 frames per second and 60 frames per second, which now means that you can get slow-mo in 4K. It also has 1080p video at 240 frames per second, which looks a little bit wobbly. It's not the best, but it's really cool that you can get that high resolution at that fast of a frame rate. So I was pretty impressed with it, and so was Sarah for sure. In terms of the photos that this phone takes, they all look really sharp, they're all properly exposed, and I think that overall it's just a really nice upgrade to the camera system. The iPhone 7 Plus had a really good camera last year, but the new features that this camera packs definitely make it a huge upgrade for sure. It's a lot more than I was expecting. Final notes about this phone is that it packs the A11 Bionic chip, which is the fastest chip Apple has ever made, and it's one of the fastest chips on the market. This phone breaks Geekbench scores, and it's just a really solid phone. But Sarah and I did notice when we were playing around with the camera app yesterday that there were some glitches when switching between modes, so that's kind of weird. I think that will be fixed with software, but a phone of this caliber should not be having any glitches when it comes right out of the box. But I'm assuming that Apple will fix that in the software update, but for now, the phone is really fast, but at times there are some glitches, which is kind of weird to see in a phone of this caliber, as I already said. So overall, this phone is very solid. The camera is better than the iPhone 7 Plus, the design changes are subtle but nice, and the software works really well with this phone most of the time. But still, I find it really hard to recommend this phone to anyone who's in the market for a smartphone with the 10 right around the corner, as that phone's superior to this phone in almost every single way. The iPhone 10 is going to have dual optically stabilized lenses on the back, which is going to help a lot for low light. It's also going to have that bezel-less design and a bunch of other features that really put this phone to shame. So while I think that this phone is a great phone, I think that it's the less exciting phone of the two, and if you're willing to drop that much cash on a new smartphone, you may as well just wait and get the iPhone 10, save up a little bit more money, because that phone is going to last longer than this phone will. This phone's the design of it is already outdated and it just came out. So I really feel like if you're going to spend that much money and you want a new iPhone, wait the extra month, save a little bit more money, and get the 10, because I think you'll be a lot happier. So that's it for this video. My opinions on the iPhone 8 could change as I use it as my daily driver, so you're going to want to subscribe right here so you don't miss a review of it, and you want to check out my other content here. Thank you guys all so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye!